Okay, so the 40 changes. I've already actually done 4 of them, and a 5th one is starting on March 11th. I believe that's Thursday. And I'll get to numbers 3 and 4 in the next 2 videos, and number 5 in the next one after that. This one is number 2. Number 1 obviously was January 1st, starting to lose the weight. Number 2 actually started in late January before I even had this concept. So I am a chronic procrastinator and just a generally messy, disorganized person. You know, it's just me and my boyfriend and 2 cats living here. So, and we're not very materialistic. We don't collect a lot of stuff that has to be cleaned and maintained and repaired and put away and organized and all of that stuff. So, you know, we're lucky that way. Otherwise, we'd probably be, you know, one of those freak show people on A&E or TLC or wherever it is that they have those, you know, crazy people with the houses that are all out of control. The flip side of that coin, the good side of that coin, is that I am a generally pretty relaxed person, unfussy. You know, I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to bullshit things. More, you know, important things in life, you know, I can get worked up over, but you know, the trivial things in life, they just don't stress me very much. So I like that aspect of my life, and it's not going to change because it's part of my basic personality. Genetically, you know, and I have a lot of relatives, especially on my mom's side, that you know, genetically I'm just a free-spirited, dirty hippie. And that's just how it is. You know, a good thing about that, being that way, is that, you know, that lack of self-control means that you can also embrace change easier than most people, sort of like I'm doing now with these videos. You know, people who have a sort of a strong desire for order in their life, I don't know, I kind of find that tragic. I find the perfectionism and the rigidity and the, you know, the trivialities that people concern themselves with, and the control people try to exercise over themselves and or exert over themselves and exert over other people. I find it sad because we only have one go at this life, and we live in a world where really the only limits are Newtonian physics. You know, the laws of gravity, that's pretty much it. And we're born knowing this. You know, you talk to anyone who's 6 or 7 years old or younger, and, you know, they'll roll in the grass or run screaming, whatever they want to do. They're not concerned about, you know, mundane crap. And then, of course, as we get older, go through teenage years, go through young adulthood, and we're socialized to fill in that precious little zone of our life that isn't taken up by sleep or by work with all these daily routines that just suck away all the spontaneity out of life. And so maybe I'm immature, maybe I'm childish, but I just reject that kind of thinking. But I do need some balance in my life, and more importantly to weight loss is I can practice discipline in that area of life that I can then apply to weight loss and other changes that I need to make in my life. So the solution, it seemed to me, or the solution I came up with, was not to focus on tasks that have to be done and things that have to be organized and housekeeping and that kind of stuff. But, you know, because really that's boring and kind of depressing if that's what your life is about. So instead, what I would simply do is set aside 30 minutes of each day for practical time. And I call it practical time in honor of my mother, who's always telling me that I need to be more practical. And it can be anything that I want. It can be doing dishes, it can be doing my taxes, it can be getting the oil changed, whatever I want to do. Shopping doesn't count, even if it's for practical things, and food preparation doesn't count, even if the food is practical. Basically, what I'm talking about here is all those things that you could put off, and ordinarily I put off doing, and until they build up into mountains of chaos. So, anyway, those of you with kids, and those of you who are just sort of naturally orderly people, are probably thinking, you know, is this supposed to be an accomplishment? 30 minutes a day? Are you serious? But, you know, actually, I looked at the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics time use survey for 2008, which is the latest statistics. 30 minutes a day is more than the average, just slightly more than the average for an employed person on those kind of activities. So to go from dirty hippie to better than average, I think is quite an accomplishment. And I think it's quite a sacrifice at the altar of the mundane of 30 minutes of my precious free time, where I could be doing interesting things instead. So how's it been going? Well, I can't say I've been perfect at it, but nearly every day, and for nearly 30 minutes of those days, I have been doing it, and so it's been going really well. You know, I have achieved that balance, I think, and you know, I never really stressed about that stuff, but now I never let it build to the point where it ever would stress me. And I retain most of my free time, and I retain the freedom to choose whatever it is I want to do, as long as it's under the umbrella of practical things. So it's a perfect change for me. It's realistic, it fits who I am, I can do it for the rest of my life, and it's challenging. So there you are, practical time. Dig it. Good night.